Good morning, students. Today we'll be starting with the second chapter of civics, that is understanding secularism. In the previous lesson, under the Constitution, we had seen secularism as a key feature of our Constitution. Let us understand this concept with the help of an example. Imagine yourself as a Hindu or a Muslim living in a part of United States of America where Christian fundamentalism is very powerful. Suppose that despite being a US citizen, no one is willing to rent their house to you. How would this make you feel? You feel angry. You might react by saying that Christians should also be treated the same way. Or you might take the view that there should be justice for all. You may fight, stating that no one should be discriminated against on grounds of their religious practices and beliefs. Yes, this is the essence of secularism. History provides us with many examples of discrimination, exclusions, and prosecutions on the ground of religion. Some of the examples are in front of us. The Jewish people were persecuted in Hitler's Germany, and how several millions of them were killed. Now, however, the Jewish state of Israel treats its own Muslims and Christians minorities quite badly. Whereas in case of Saudi Arabia, non-Muslims are not allowed to build their prayer places. In these examples, we could see that members of one religious community either prosecute or discriminate against the members of other religious communities. These acts of discrimination takes place more easily when one religion is given official recognition by the state at the expense of other religions. India being a secular state cannot discriminate against citizens on the grounds of their religion. Let us see what is secularism. The Indian Constitution contains fundamental rights that protect us against state power as well as against the tyranny of the majority. The Indian Constitution allows individuals the freedom to live by their religious beliefs and practices as they interpret their beliefs. By keeping with these ideas of religious freedom for all, India also adopted a strategy for separating the power of religion and the power of the state. Secularism refers to this separation of religion from the state. Indian Constitution allows individuals the freedom to live by their religious beliefs. Let us see why it is important to separate religion from state. The most important aspects of secularism is its separation of religion from the state power. This is important for a country to function democratically. Almost all countries of the world will have more than one religious group living in them. Within these religious groups, there will be some groups which are having majority and some other may be minorities. It could be quite easy to use power and financial resources to discriminate against the minorities. So it is better for a state to separate itself from religion. Another reason that it is important to separate religion from the state in democratic societies is because we also need to protect the freedom of individuals to exist from their religion as well as they can choose any religion of their choice, and they have the freedom to interpret religious teachings differently. Let us take the practice of untouchability. In our country, untouchability was practiced. You might feel that you dislike this practice within the Hinduism and therefore you want to try and reform it. Since the state powers were not in the hands of any religion, that was easy for the state to make laws as well as to take a stern step towards stopping untouchability. According to the constitution, in a secularism in our country, we are following secularism, there is separation of state from the religion. Let us see the Indian secularism in the eyes of a child of your age. There is masjid, there is temple, there is gurudwara, there is church, but all are together and united. In the innocent heart of child, everyone is same, united and secular. There is no discrimination. The Indian constitution mandates that it makes it compulsory that the Indian state be secular. According to the constitution, only a secular state can realize its objectives to ensure the following. As a secular state, we have the objectives. One religious community does not dominate another. Some members do not dominate other members of the same religious community. And the state does not enforce any particular religion nor take away the religious freedom of individuals. The Indian state works in various ways to prevent the domination. Various strategies which are used to keep the state away from religion. It uses a strategy of distancing itself to keep the state away from the religion. The first and foremost is the state keep a distance. The Indian state is not ruled by a religious group and nor does it support any religious. In India, government spaces like court, police stations, government schools and offices are not supposed to display or promote any religion. Being a secular country, we are having different religions in our country. People of different religion are staying together, but state is not linked to any religion. Another way by which the Indian secularism works to prevent the domination is through strategy of non-interference. This means that in order to respect the sentiments of all religion and not interfere with religious practices, the state makes certain exceptions for particular religious communities. For example, Let us see a group of friends who have recently brought scooters and they were ready to go for a ride, and they started asking each other, hope you are having a helmet, because having a helmet is necessary. Among them, one person from the Sikh community was there. He said, don't worry, I will not be fined. Others were curious to know why you won't be fined. Then he explained, for Sikh, wearing a pagadi is very important part of religious belief, and so government cannot force him to wear a helmet. Here government is taking a non-interference. The third way by which the Indian secularism worked to prevent the domination is through a strategy of intervention. For example, the practice of untouchability, where the members of the same religion, upper caste, dominates other members of the same caste within it. In order to prevent this religion-based exclusion and discrimination of lower caste, the Indian Constitution bans untouchability. In the intervention of the state can also be in the form of support. The Indian Constitution grants the right to religious communities to set up their own schools and colleges. It also gives them financial aid on a non-preferential basis. There is one significant way in which Indian secularism is different from the dominant understanding of secularism as practiced in the United States. This is because unlike the strict separation between religion and the state in American secularism, in Indian secularism, the state can intervene in religious affairs. Means whenever there is any problem, the Indian Constitution intervened in Hindu religious practices in order to abolish untouchability. The Indian secularism through the state, though the state is not strictly separated from religion, it does not maintain a principled distance from the religion. This means that any interference in religion by the state has to be based on the ideals laid out in the Constitution. The Indian Constitution guarantees fundamental rights that are based on secular principles. And the knowledge that such right exists makes us sensitive to the violation and enables us to take action when these violations take place. As children of India, let us be united against any kinds of discrimination. Let us stay safe. Thank you for listening.